Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm talking softly because my baby's asleep upstairs. So grab a cup of tea, we're gonna dive in. Right, you got your cup of tea? I've got coffee and chai latte, literally all I drink. Right, so the most important thing when you're running a doggy daycare is that you've got a safe environment that dogs can't escape from. So it's going to have 6-foot fences, it's going to have a double gated entry system so that the dogs, if they do get past one gate, that's as far as they go, so that they don't get past 2 gates, because then that's a nightmare. You have to make sure that all surfaces are completely impenetrable and there's no glass. There can't be any sharp bits sticking out because these dogs are fast. They're going to run very fast into stuff, and so you just have to make sure that everything's nice and smooth, soft, and they're going to run into stuff and they're probably going to hurt themselves, but try and get rid of as much opportunity to hurt themselves as possible. You'll probably get a council inspection. Our local council inspection was quite funny because they hadn't ever heard of a doggy daycare before, so they were going off kennel regulations, which was quite funny when they said that each dog had to have a separate water bowl. And I was like, well, they're all playing together, they're going to share water bowls. We can't say this bowl is for you and this bowl isn't for you, because they'll drink out of whatever they want to drink out of. But so we had to reinvent the wheel a bit and teach the council what a doggy daycare was about, and I am rambling. So before we had our first dog, we decided that we needed to vet the dogs that come. So each dog has to have a 20-minute temperament trial to make sure that they are a good boy and good girl, which they all are. None of them are bad, but just to make sure that they're happy and that they're going to be absolutely terrified. And the worst behaved dog is a scared dog, because they're going to lash out, and if they're hating it, they're not going to be nice to the others. So we always ask when the people come in, has your dog been around other dogs? What are they like when they meet dogs on the beach? It's important to get an idea that if this dog has never seen another dog, or that if they do see a dog on a lead, they go absolutely nuts, then you have to have an idea of what you're about to expect. So even if, worst case scenario, someone says, my dog is feral and it's never seen another dog before in its life, and when it does ever see a dog, it goes absolutely nuts and then tries to bite its lead and tries to get away from us and tries to go maul the other dog, then I might be like, we'll see how this goes then, and ask them another million questions before allowing this dog in. I do try and get down on my knees, try and ignore the dog, but put my hands out so that they know that I am no threat to them, because you want to make sure that that dog is going to be on your team. Because if you let it out with those other dogs and it's not on your team, then you've got nothing to come back to. So you make friends with the dog first, and if you can't make friends with the dog, then that is a warning sign. You want to try and put as much effort as possible into getting to know that dog before it goes any further. So I will sit on the floor for as long as it takes until that dog comes to me. Still don't overly fuss it, really nonchalant that you don't really care about making friends with this dog, only slight little hand things if it wants to come close to you. Most of the time the dogs are over the moon to see you because they're dogs and they love everything. So if the dog is like, oh hi, hey guys, I'm Luna and I just want to be a friend, and then you're like, yeah, good girl Luna, you come here, I'm gonna scruff you, and then you scruff them. You make sure you scruff them good and that they know that you're on their team, and then once you've got the bond with the dog, then you can carry on to stage 2, which is going to meet some friends. So when we have a trial, we make sure that we've got all the polite dogs. All of our dogs are good dogs, but some are a bit nuts. So we don't want to overwhelm the new dog with a crazy dog, because they'll be like, oh, I'm not coming back here, these dogs are crazy. And they are. which is fine, but they're going to know that in time, but they need to slowly. So say if it's a Cocker Spaniel, because we have a lot of Cocker Spaniels. So this Cocker Spaniel comes in and says, hey, I'm a good dog, but I'm a bit wary because I haven't really seen that many dogs, but I'm up for anything. Show me what we're going to do next because I'm excited. So you bring the dog in, you bring it through the gate and you say like, right, we're going to make you some friends. Now we're going to find you some friends that are going to be good for you. So I'll go out and I'll say, right, girls, who have we got now? Who have we got that we can show Luna, the Cocker Spaniel? And they'll say, oh, we've got Jessie. And I'm like, perfect, Jessie's such a good dog. So we'll bring Jessie in just into the holding bay. And then the two of them will be like, oh, hey. And then if Luna's a bit like, oh, yeah, you're overwhelming me, I'm like, Jessie, calm now, calm. And Jessie, because these dogs have done quite a few trials and they're our best friends, they're on our team, they 100% know what we're asking of them, even though they just want to meet the humans. They don't care about the dog most of the time. They're just like, oh my God, new humans, who are these humans? And I'm like, nah, that's Luna's parents. You're supposed to just be meeting Luna. So anyway, so then Jessie like does a little sniff of Luna, and then once they have had a little sniff of each other and they're like, then I'll be like, oh, Luna, would you like to come out into the main bit where we've got a few more dogs for you to meet? And if she's like, oh, I don't know yet, can you show me some more? Is this all you got? And then, so we'll bring maybe a different type of breed out. Say Jessie was a little terrier, and then so we get like, I don't know. No, I wouldn't chuck a boxer in yet. We'll leave the boxers till last. Well, maybe another Cocker Spaniel. There's plenty of them. There's loads of them. So say we bring George in. George is a big Cocker Spaniel, but he's really good and he's really confident. So George comes in and he's like, oh my God, Luna, hi, I'm George. And then Luna's like, oh, no, George. Oh, well, I didn't know you had handsome boy Cocker Spaniels here. So now my whole feeling of this place is way different. So Luna's like, oh, I'll let George show me around. Jessie, it was nice to meet you, but this guy's showing me around. So then she might be a bit more confident. She's met a couple of them and she's like, do you know what, these guys seem all right. So we'll open the gate, we'll give her enough room, try and get all the others, not all the others, just a few of the others we've selected, to come away from the gate a bit because it can be too much. So we'll keep them away so that she can have a bit more space and then she can have a little wander out. Once she's had a wander, she's gone through that gate. Well done, good girl, you're really good at this now. You've gone through the gate and you have conquered your fear of walking through into a situation that they've never done before. So that's a big step. So once she's come in, then a couple of dogs will go over and sniff her, and then she will be like, just nice and calm. That's what we want from the dogs. We want them to just stand there, be sniffed. If they run, that's the worst thing they can do. So if we think that they're gonna run, we will hold on to them so that they just get a sniff nice and gently, because you don't want them to run. If they run, then everyone thinks that it's like a game. So they'll have a little sniff of them, and then we'll let a couple more come over and sniff. And then the dogs are just, because they're dogs, they're like, cool, bro, I've smelt you now. So I'm just going to go over and do what I was doing before because I've got a 1 second attention span. So then we'll let Luna go off and have a little wander, and a couple of dogs will follow her and say, oh, hi, I'm Tony. I'm really happy all the time and I just want to be your best friend. And so Tony will follow Luna around, and if they're being too much, or Luna's like, oh, this is too much, I've had a sudden realization that I'm in this new place and I really don't like it, then we're like, that's fine, Tony, come away from her, give her some space. And we let her have a sniff around all the tyres and all the equipment, and then we do like it if they do a little wee or a little poo, because that means that they're getting comfortable, and staying away from the gate, because the thing that we're looking for is that they are confident enough to come away from their parents, because once they are away from the gate, and most of the time the dogs just find some friends and they're like, cool, this is amazing, and they'll slowly start to pounce and start to play with the others, and that's exactly what we want to see. And we're like, brilliant. Sometimes they'll walk back to the gate and they're like, I don't like it, but we're like, no, it's okay, you come away, you'll be fine, you'll be absolutely fine. And we have to encourage them to come away from the gate a few times maybe, And then so we run with them and we say, come on, you can come away from the gate, it's fine. And then if they do come to us, then that's brilliant, because then they are trusting us, they're trusting their parents, and that's important because we are going to be there for them all day. So we want them to like us, because that's, you like to be liked. So if they've come to us, then we're like, perfect, that's another tick box. So they've come away from the gate, they've chosen to trust us rather than, because they can't see their parents at this moment, and then they'll go and then they might sniff another dog, and then we'll play with the dogs, the ones that we're used to, so that they know that all these dogs are happy and that we trust them, the dogs trust us, and they can have a sense of like, okay, this seems like a nice environment, and then they can start to relax and start to go off and play. And we give them a little 5 minutes of playing around so that we can see that they're confident, and then they'll probably remember, oh, I haven't seen Mum in a while, I should probably go check on that because I came with her and it's a bit weird that I've just started playing with these people I don't really know and I need to go check on where Mum is. So then they might go back to the gate, but that's fine because they've done their little play and they'll be ready for their first day then. So we'll be like, right, do you want to go see where Mum and Dad are? And they're like, oh, you know, I want to go see. But sometimes they're like, nah, I don't want to see them ever again. And you're like, yes, you do, because they're your parents. Now come back in. And they're like, no, I'm playing now. This is my new life. And you're like, get back in there now, because they love you and you're gonna make them feel sad. So that's great news for us. That means that they love being with us, which is great, but they need to love their parents too, so get back in there. So then we take them back into the reception and they're like, oh my God, Mum and Dad are still here for me and they still love me and this is the best. I get to play and I get to go home. This is wonderful. Everyone loves me, which we do. We all love them. So then we'll be like, your dog was so well behaved. It was so good. You were so good. Good girl. You were so good. Well done. And the owners are like, what, really? I didn't think they'd pass. If they pass, can they come back again? And we're like, yeah, they can come back. We bloody love them. We love them so much. Even though you have known your dog for years and we've only now met them, we love them just as much as you do. I promise you that. I know that's probably absolutely horrific, but we instantly love your dog. If we met your dog once and then you said, I'm not going to keep this dog, I feel like we would probably try and adopt that dog because we love it, because we've just met it and it's the best thing ever, which all dogs are the best thing. Everyone thinks that they have the best dog and everyone's right. I digress. So then we'll get you to fill out the paperwork, and you probably would have done that while we've been playing with your dog. And well, as long as your vaccinations and everything are up to date, because that's important to the council and important to us that all the dogs are healthy and not going to pass on random stuff to each other. So once that's all sorted, we will put you on the app and you can book your own days, and it's so good. So then you can just book whatever day you want, and then your dog, because they've done the trial and they know us and they're like, cool, last time I came here, it was great. We just walked in, I played, Mum and Dad came back for me. It was wonderful. So I remember doing this. This is fine. And they walk in, and then after they've walked in, they might be a bit, oh, these dogs are a bit different to the ones I met the other day. But they should be like, they should be a lot more, what am I trying to say? They should say, I need a redo. So on their first day, they should be a lot more confident that you're coming back from at the end of the day. They might be a bit nervous, especially if we always say if they're over 2 years old. They're over 2 years old and they're a bit more stuck in their ways, then they might take about 3 days to really settle in. And we've said it for years that this dog doesn't seem like it's going to settle and they're really missing their parents. But on that 3rd day, something changes in those dogs and they're like, this is the best thing ever. Actually, I've done it enough. My parents have come back for me and they really relax, and it's one of the best things about running a doggy daycare. It's just the best thing to watch when a dog comes out of its shell and this shy little thing turns into this monster that you cannot control. No, I'm joking. No, but they just turn into this ball of sunshine and play and they're so happy, and it's just their confidence grows and it's just wonderful. We've had it with so many dogs, but obviously if we do think after the 3rd, 4th day, do you know what, this dog is just pining for home and doesn't want to be here, then we will let you know, because it's a business and all, but we just want the dogs to be happy. We don't want to deal with a miserable dog all day, but also we want them to be living their best life. And if that's not with us, then so be it. But we will miss them forever because we love them a million percent. But yeah, so daycare isn't for everyone, and your dog might pass the trial and it might do a couple of days, and then it might decide, absolutely not, no, hate it, don't want to come back. But usually, even though it's difficult because there are babies and we're like, oh, I don't want to leave you if you're not happy, but just persevere for like 3 days and they might turn into a ball of sunshine, which is the most confident, happy pack member. They know their place in the pack. They are just like, this is what I needed to do all this time and I love it, and they've burn off all their energy, and that they come home and they're shattered and they're just like, that was the best day, and then they fall asleep and they dream about it, and then they wake up and they're like, when are we going again? So it is worth it if you persevere, because they hopefully will turn into a ball of sunshine, which happens 90% of the time. 10% of the time they're like, I don't mind it, and then like maybe there's no more percentage left, but like a very small amount are like, it's just not for me, and that's fine. It's not for everyone, but most of the time, even if they're rescue dogs, they are resilient. These dogs have been through some horrible times, and these dogs, they bounce back from loads of things and they adapt, they are adaptable. It's just the best things, aren't they? The best. It is sometimes just the puppies that think that nothing ever bad happens in the world are worse than the rescue dogs. You have a nervous rescue dog, I've got more confidence. If you've got a little spoilt little thing that doesn't want to do anything, we've got a road to go along. Well, anyway, I'm just going to pause this now. So your dog's done a first day and you're in work. You've just dropped your dog off. It's your first day and you're like, oh my God, are they going to be okay? Well, we upload stories throughout the day. You message us anytime saying like, how is Luna doing? Because I'm worried and I miss her and I hope she's okay and that she's not hating life. And we will, between us, send you photos and videos so that you can put your mind at rest and you can chill and just think like, right, my baby is in daycare and it's going to be fine. Or we might be messaged being like, oh, she's getting on okay. And then just to put your mind at ease that everything's fine. Worst case scenario, they will just sit somewhere and think about, I don't know, they might just sit there and take it in for a bit, and then after a while they'll think, I'll go and play with those dogs over there, or I'll go and sit up on the sofa, or I'll go and fuss one of the humans, or we'll go over and we'll say, do you want to cuddle? Are you alright? And we might give them a little snack and a little cuddle, and we just encourage them, because first days are a lot for anyone. First days are hard in your new job or in a group that you don't want to go to. Like a baby and mum group, which I'm not going to. I point blank refuse. But no one likes a first day. So some puppies like first days. Puppies love first days. Under 18 months, really. Bloody love it. But the older ones are like, I just want to be on my sofa. And yeah. And when you come back and you get that dog on its first day and you say, hey, mum's here, you never guess what, mum's here. And they're like, oh my God, what, mum's here already? And then you're like, yeah. And they're like, they're so excited to see you, and it's wonderful. So they'll run in and they'll fuss you and they go bonkers, and then you get them in the car and you ask them how their day was, and they're like, oh my God, mum, you would not believe, you would never think this girl did this and this boy did this, and then he did a poo, and then that dog ate it. It was absolutely bonkers. And then you're like, oh my God, Jesus, what, that happened today? And you're like, yeah. And like, wow, what did you learn? And we'll say, well, we did some maths, we did some reading. I'm like, what? You learned maths and English? And they like, teach us all sorts of things in school. It's really good. And they'll be like, well, what was your favourite part of the day? And I'm like, well, I made a best friend, and there was this boy who was a bit of a cutie pie, and he had a nice tail. And you'll be like, oh, hey, you stop with that. You don't chase tails. No, absolutely not. And I'm like, okay, but he was very cute. Anyway, you get home, or you might not even make it the whole journey. You'll look back in your mirror and your baby will be up on the backseat, completely flat out, sleeping. They might manage dinner. You know, first day, they might not eat dinner, but they might scoff a dinner and then they might pass out in their bowl because they've had a busy day, and probably the busiest different day that they've ever experienced. So then you'll be like, this is the best thing ever, because now I've got a whole evening. I don't have to walk them. It's raining. I don't have to go do that. And then then the next time they come to daycare, they'll be like, oh my God, this is the best. I love this place so much. And hopefully it'll stay like that and they'll run in from the car. We don't like them running in from the car. It's very cute and it's very nice that they want to run in, but also it's a road and stuff can happen. So please just bring them in on a lead. I love it. Let them pull you in on the lead, but please don't just let them run in or run back out to you in the car, even though some dogs are really good at it and you know to watch, but it's just not safe. So please don't do that. Then there shouldn't be another time that I can think of where you're gonna need to worry. Really, you just book them in online. You turn up on the day, whatever time. We don't care. You want to come at 8? You want to come at 15? You want to come at 10? We don't mind, as long as you've booked and paid. You turn up whenever you want, as long as you turn up before 5:30, because we shut at 5:30. And I know that things happen and traffic happens and people have barbecues and they forget that their dog isn't at home and they're like, where is it? Oh, we left the dog at school. And then you're like, yeah, you left the dog at school. It happens, so don't over worry. But it happens loads, then we're going to be like, we are waiting here with your very tired dog and we are shattered. We've been playing with your dog for 10 hours, so please come and get them before 5:30. Yeah. Any questions? If you've got any questions for me, I would love to answer them. And realise that I look a lot more like Jack Black on camera than I thought I looked. I've always thought I look a bit like Will Ferrell, but I think it's more Jack Black. Both are not great for a woman to look like, but I don't really care. Anyway, so yeah, that was episode 1 of running a dog daycare from behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes. This is my house. 8 months ago, had little human baby. Never really wanted a human baby. Kind of got pushed into it a little bit. Everyone's like, go on, have a human one. They're way better than furry ones. And I was like, they're not better. How can they be better? Nothing's better. But they were like, come on. I was like, right, I do want grandchildren one day. That does look fun. Probably gonna have to do the middle bit. So, eager about any of it. Was like, oh, I've got to have time off work. Tried to figure out how I was going to just do the back end of stuff and not really be pregnant while I was at creche. That's a different story. Yeah, the best part of running a doggy daycare is being in with the dogs every day. The worst part about running a daycare is doing the back end stuff. So I'm doing the worst part, even though it's nice and warm and dry. It's none of the fun. It's just the answering emails and booking dogs in and doing anything that needs doing and posts and Instagram and stuff. It's great. This is why I'm doing this, because hopefully this is me getting back into it. So anyway, months ago I had a human baby and I was like, hey human baby, how's it going? And I felt like, always said, I felt like someone had handed me a hamster and a box of straw and had said, right, that's your hamster and that's your box of straw, and this is a little instruction leaflet on how to look after it. And I was like, oh God, okay. And I know they say that your instincts kick in and that you just know what to do. And I suppose I just carried on every day, knowing what I do with this baby. And I knew that, you know, I really cared that he was okay and I really needed him to be fine. And yeah, it's just a mad feeling. But it's literally the easiest thing, way easier. If you've got a beagle, if you've got a cocker spaniel, a human baby is way easier. Honestly, and especially if you've had them from a puppy, you've had a puppy beagle, or you've had a puppy cocker spaniel, then Jesus, have a human baby, way easier. But give up on your furry baby because they come first. Always say, you're gonna have a baby, you're gonna need to make that baby coincide with your dog. I know it's not always possible, but most of the time it is, and dogs love having human babies. They don't know it at first, and Maisy, who I don't know if you can see, she's my capuchon, she's on the sofa. She was like, it's a bit gross, like I don't really want it in my house. It touches me, I will spew. And she's just moved away from him, being like, oh, gross, what the hell is that? Now he eats food, so now she loves him, and she will lick his hands, and she's very sweet. She's the best behaved dog in the whole world, and I can't compare her to a baby like a German Shepherd to a baby, because that's very different. Maisy is like a 80-year-old tortoise to a baby. They're like, cool, well, what are we doing now? Is there food? So yeah, I'm no help when it comes to introducing babies and dogs. Well, I am, because I helped other people, but my dog isn't a dog really like that. Little human baby is called Bobby. He's upstairs asleep at the moment. We are trying to get him into a routine of sleeping so I can actually get some work done. I'm going to do some videos that include him because it's all part of the whole situation and how it's a juggle, and I'm sure he's going to grow up loving dogs as he already does. He loves going to the crash. He loves seeing them. Big Labrador bark at him and he's like, yeah, I love it. But I suppose he was with me while I was pregnant. He probably heard them barking from when he was a little bean, so he's very used to it. To be fair, a dog barks right next to him, he won't wake up. You drop a spoon, he'll wake up. So yeah, he's very used to the dogs. So he is going to be part of the crash family, and hopefully, even though he won't be able to help in the daycare until he's 18, because that's the regulations, we'll be helping on other things, and he already has been seeing dogs in and out. He just can't go in the main enclosure with them. He's met all the humans and all the parents, and they all love him, and our community have been so kind. We've had so many little outfits bought and loads of gifts, and just been overwhelming that everyone's been so sweet and asking how he is. And it's quite funny because I was telling everyone how I didn't really fancy having a baby, and they were like, no, it'll be amazing, it'll be the best thing you do. Just had a notification from the baby camera that he is moving, so I might have to call this a day. This is my first YouTube video. Well, my first crash YouTube video, because I used to do videos when I was in uni and they were very bad. This is probably no better, to be fair, but I have just rambled about dogs and stuff, which is much how the channel's going to go. I think it's just going to be me. I'm 30 years old, running a dog daycare, and I've got 5 members of staff, 6 members of staff. Behind the scenes, in the doggy daycare, me being at home, teaching my human baby about dogs, and we're going to do a lot of out and about stuff, a lot of home stuff, and a lot of daycare stuff. So subscribe if that's what people say.